A tycoon can pick up the phone and make $1 million investment in 3 minutes, but if that same tycoon wants a good, stable home with a wife who loves him and children who respect him, that investment will cost him hours of time and attention every week.
Hello again, everyone. This is Heartbeat, the podcast, featuring insight and teaching from the more than 50 years of work done by Landon Saunders. On today's episode of the podcast, Landon shares 3 mini ideas on what it means to invest in family. Now here's Landon.
Over the air a few days ago came an ad from a mortgage investment company, and the punchline was, "Your home is the most important investment of your life." I thought about that and realized that I couldn't agree more. Of course, what they meant by your home was your house. And as such, I suppose they're correct, because most families spend more money on their houses than on any one single item they own. And yet I took the words another way. A home is really not a house. A home is the people who live in that house. Your home is you, your spouse, whatever children or parents might live with you. That means the words over the radio are right on target. Your home is the most important investment of your life. And especially I like that word investment, because parents don't spend energy on their children. They invest energy and attention in their children. A husband and wife don't spend time with each other. They invest time in each other. What's the difference, then, between spending and investing? Well, what you spend is gone. What you invest will come back to you in future rewards and dividends. That means time and energy given over to the family is really, as the man said, the most important investment of your life. Investing in people is investing in love, and when you invest in love, your dividends will be more of the same. It's strange, isn't it, how we get even important things confused. Most people would say love is something they fall into and out of. Love is something that just happens. But of course, it doesn't really work out that way, except in the movies. Rather, love is a commitment of your time and energy that you invest in someone else. That means it's a major investment. A tycoon can pick up the phone and make $1 million investment in 3 minutes, but if that same tycoon wants a good, stable home with a wife who loves him and children who respect him, that investment will cost him hours of time and attention every week. Taking off work to go see the grade school play, vacationing in Disneyland for the children instead of a quiet week in the mountains for yourself, foregoing a new tennis racket to buy your most important lady a bouquet of roses. That's what commitment to the home means, and that's the reason not everybody is willing to make the investment. Love really does mean, then, commitment and caring. We may have touched on one of your most neglected areas, most neglected, but also most important. You have invested much in your house. How much do you invest in your home? A 9-year-old girl came up to her mother the other day, looked up at her and said, "Mom, I wish I were like you." The mother beamed. That's a delicious moment to be treasured forever. At that point, though, not quite knowing what lay ahead, Mom decided to press her luck. "Thank you, dear. What makes you say that?" "Oh, you know, Mom, you're all grown up and you're through high school and college already." Well, that wasn't exactly what Mom wanted to hear, but she recovered quickly and charged in again. "Why, dear, every experience is a new challenge, and just think of all the fun you'll have, the people you'll meet, the new things you'll learn." The little girl wrinkled up her face in disgust and blurted, "But, Mom, the worst thing is, when I get to high school, I'll have to dissect a frog." Now, that was a fast-developing conversation. Started out on the heights of a beautiful compliment, "Mom, I wish I were like you," and crashed on thoughts of a dissected frog. But that's the way life sometimes is, isn't it? Great starts, lots of promises, and then reality. Somehow, our ideas, even for the next 24 hours, don't work out exactly like they were planned. An 86-year-old woman explains why she doesn't cook anymore. "In my mind," she says, "I can cook just as well as I ever did, but when I go to the kitchen and begin to do it, it never turns out right." Well, I know what she's talking about. I'm not even half her age. In my mind, I know just how my life should go, but when the action starts, the result is often different than I've planned. Now, what that says, I guess, is that you can't depend on your planning and your programs to turn your life into success. I've talked with a number of successful people over the past years, and also with many whose lives haven't worked out so well. And from these, I've concluded that the successful life is not one in which everything has necessarily gone precisely as it was supposed to. Now, that is to say, when our plans for success have been cut up and dissected like a schoolboy's frog, that isn't necessarily the end. It may be that we had the wrong plans to begin with. It may be that we simply need to rethink our definition of success. Or just possibly we haven't recognized some successes we already have. And most important of all, we need to be certain we don't confuse success with any of its fraudulent lookalikes, such as wealth, power, or prestige. And how's your day going? Well, if you're listening to this in the morning, you'll probably answer, too soon to tell. And if it's evening, you may groan, don't ask. We're busy people, aren't we? Once in a while I hear about somebody who has to go out looking for something to do, but for most of us, it's the opposite problem, how to find enough hours in the day. People I especially empathize with are parents. There's so much to do, so many deadlines, so many errands. Children mean planning, scheduling, cleaning up, transporting, disciplining. And on top of all of that are the regular survival routines of life, jobs to go to, cleaning, shopping, cooking, paying bills, bathing the dog. Well, it never ends. Now, where, I ask you, is there time for a child in all of that? Washing his clothes and making his bed can be worked in, but I mean, when is there time for him? Good, quality, eyeball-to-eyeball time. It's hard to work in. One mother recently felt a tug at her apron from her 3-year-old Laura. Definitely this was not the time for a mother-daughter conference. Company would be here in 45 minutes. Still left to do was a salad fruit cup and a dash of powder and lipstick. Yes, Laura, what do you want? Mommy. The tugs on the skirt continued. Mother kept slicing tomatoes. Laura, Mommy's busy. Now tell me what you want. I'm listening. Laura broke into a quiet sob. But Mommy, you're not listening with your face. Listening with your face. Isn't that what it's all about? Having children around is no bother if just keeping them alive is the object. But rearing a child is more than that. It's listening with your face. And that means your eyes, your eyebrows, the smile on your mouth, the wrinkles on your forehead. How often are parents willing to make that kind of investment in their children? I'm afraid if you were to ask the children, they would say, well, not very often. I've found if I don't have a plan, I don't get much accomplished. Parents need a plan. And I believe that too often children are allowed simply to grow up. Infrequently are children actually reared by parents who take the time to listen with their faces. I've written a parent plan. In the parent plan are 14 decisions that every parent can and should make. The third of the 14 decisions is this. Decide to listen to your child every day, even if it's only a little time. Listening with your face says to that child, I'm here, I care, you're important, and I love you.
Well, I don't know about you, but I resolved to try to listen with my face a little bit more this week. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode of This is Heartbeat, the podcast. And we invite you to check out additional content that's available from Landon Saunders by visiting the website thisisheartbeat.com. All the material is absolutely complimentary, brought to you by Friends of Heartbeat. And we encourage you to join us next time when we'll be back with more from Landon Saunders on This is Heartbeat, the podcast.